John Proudstar, known as Thunderbird, is a mutant of Apache heritage with enhanced strength, endurance, and speed. He served in the United States Marines before returning to his Arizona reservation, where his mutant powers emerged. He was later recruited to join the X-Men as part of the all-new, all-different team formed to rescue the original members. Early in his missions, the team faced Count Nefaria, who had taken control of the North American Air Defense Command in Colorado. Disregarding orders to withdraw, Proudstar leaped onto Nefaria's escaping aircraft and attacked it mid-air, resulting in an explosion that destroyed the plane and caused his death. His death had lasting repercussions for the team and profoundly impacted his younger brother, James Proudstar, who later assumed the codename Warpath. John later returned temporarily during the Necrosha and Chaos War storylines, briefly emerging from the afterlife before returning to death once the events ended. He was permanently revived through the mutant resurrection protocols on Krakoa, regaining full consciousness and rejoining his former teammates. After his restoration, he resumed active service with the X-Men and received an updated uniform and role within the team. Vision is a synthezoid possessing superhuman strength, flight, density manipulation, and energy projection. His development and connection with Wanda Maximoff have been integral to his role on the team. His first significant death occurred during the Avengers Disassembled event, when he crashed a Quinjet into Avengers Mansion, released Ultron-style drones, and was torn apart by She-Hulk in a loss of control. This event completely destroyed his body and internal systems. Vision later returned temporarily during Chaos War, when several deceased Avengers were revived to confront the Chaos King, though this restoration ended after the event. He was fully reconstructed and reactivated during the Avengers series, regaining complete functionality and resuming his role with the team. In the Vision series, he established a synthezoid family while confronting the limitations inherent to his artificial form. Later, Vision was destroyed again in battle, leaving him heavily damaged and inoperative. His state at that time indicated a cessation of function rather than permanent deactivation. Throughout these occurrences, Vision's essential systems and consciousness have repeatedly been dismantled and restored. The canonical death with the most significant impact in continuity remains his destruction during Avengers Disassembled. Mar-Vell is a Kree military officer from the Kree Empire who assumes the title of Captain Marvel as Earth's protector. His abilities include superhuman strength, flight, energy projection, and heightened cosmic awareness. During his career, he participates in numerous conflicts across the galaxy, including battles against threats on Earth. On one mission, he encounters the villain Nitro, who releases a nerve agent known as Compound 13. Exposure to this substance ultimately causes Mar-Vell to develop a terminal form of cancer. His final days occur on Titan, where he receives care from allies including Mentor and Elysius. Surrounded by companions and former adversaries who pay their respects, he eventually dies from the illness. His death represents one of the rare instances of a major hero in continuity succumbing to disease rather than combat. Although others later adopt his identity or emulate his appearance, the original Mar-Vell of the primary continuity has not been restored, cementing his legacy within the universe. Successors such as Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers subsequently hold the Captain Marvel mantle. Pyotr Rasputin, known as Colossus, is a mutant from Siberia capable of transforming his body into organic steel, granting superhuman strength and near-impervious durability. He joins the X-Men to defend both mutants and humans, establishing himself as a long-standing member of the team. His most notable canonical death occurs during the outbreak of the Legacy virus, a disease affecting mutants throughout Earth. After his sister Ileana succumbs to the virus, Pyotr decides to end the epidemic using a cure developed by Beast from Moira MacTaggart's research. The cure requires a mutant to activate it through self-sacrifice, and Colossus volunteers to administer it personally. Upon activating his abilities, the cure spreads into the atmosphere, neutralizing the virus but resulting in his death. His remains are subsequently cremated and dispersed over his family's farmland in Russia. Later, his body is recovered by Ord of the Breakworld, who employs alien technology to revive him. Colossus is held captive and subjected to experimentation until he is freed by Kitty Pryde, after which he rejoins the X-Men. His revival returns him to active participation in the team's missions. The event represents a significant instance of sacrifice and restoration among mutants. Gwen Stacy is the daughter of Captain George Stacy of the New York City Police Department and Helen Stacy. She attends the same university as Peter Parker, who secretly operates as Spider-Man. Gwen becomes one of Peter's closest friends and a key romantic partner during his early career as a hero. Her canonical death occurs in the storyline The Night Gwen Stacy Died. In this event, the Green Goblin, also known as Norman Osborn, abducts Gwen and takes her to a high bridge to confront Spider-Man. During the encounter, the Green Goblin throws her from the bridge, prompting Spider-Man to attempt to rescue rescue with his webbing. Although the web catches her, the sudden stop causes her death, marking a significant loss in his life. Her death continues to influence his decisions, relationships, and sense of responsibility. Within the main timeline, Gwen's death remains permanent, with no canonical resurrection or survival revision. This incident is regarded as one of the earliest and most significant character deaths in Spider-Man continuity. Kurt Wagner, known as Nightcrawler, is a mutant with the ability to teleport, enhanced agility, wall crawling, a prehensile tail, and vision adapted to darkness. He is noted for his acrobatic abilities and strong religious beliefs. He serves as a long-standing member of the X-Men, regularly participating in missions focused on mutant protection and survival. His canonical death occurs during the events of X-Men Second Coming. In this storyline, the mutant child Hope Summers travels with Rogue and Nightcrawler while being pursued by the anti-mutant entity Bastion. Bastion predicts Nightcrawler's teleportation destination and strikes his arm through Kurt's torso as he rematerializes. Mortally injured, Nightcrawler continues to teleport Hope to safety on the mutant refuge of Utopia. After completing this task, he collapses on the shore and dies, expressing faith in Hope's future. His death is recognized as a major loss to the X-Men, who commemorate his final act of protection. Kurt remains deceased for a significant period within continuity until the creation of Krakoa, where mutant resurrection protocols restore him. After his revival, he re-enters the X-Men and continues to serve the mutant nation. Elektra Natchios is a martial artist and assassin. She is skilled with Twin Sai and trained extensively in stealth, espionage, and ninjutsu. Her associations include the assassin organization known as the Hand and its rival group, the Chaste. She maintains a complex personal and professional relationship with Matt Murdock, also known as Daredevil, frequently intersecting with his activities in New York City. Elektra's primary canonical death occurs during a confrontation with the assassin Bullseye. In this encounter, Bullseye kills her by impaling her with one of her own sai. Her body is later recovered and employed by the Hand in a ritual aimed at restoring her to life. The resurrection is completed when the Chaste Mystic Stone intervenes, returning her spirit and removing the Hand's corruption. After her revival, Elektra resumes operations within the assassin community, sometimes cooperating with the Hand and other times acting independently. Her later appearances maintain her role as a combatant navigating competing allegiances between the Hand and the Chaste. Pietro Maximoff is a mutant with superhuman speed. He has been affiliated with multiple teams, including the Avengers, and was previously a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. During the events of House of M, Pietro plays a key role in the creation of an altered reality generated by his sister Wanda Maximoff's powers. To protect Wanda from intervention by other heroes, Pietro persuades her to transform reality into a world dominated by mutants under the rule of their father, Magneto. When the altered reality is later exposed, the heroes confront Magneto on Genosha. Discovering that Pietro manipulated events to create this world without his consent, Magneto reacts violently and kills his son. Wanda observes this and immediately restores Pietro to life using her abilities, while experiencing extreme emotional strain. Pietro's death and revival both occur within this sequence, representing a brief but complete instance of mortality and resurrection within House of M. After reality is restored, he continues to exist within the main continuity. Norrin Radd, known as the Silver Surfer, originates from the planet Zenla. He serves as the Herald of Galactus after receiving the power Cosmic, which provides energy manipulation, interstellar travel, and extraordinary endurance. Initially charged with locating worlds for Galactus to consume, Norrin later opposes his master and protects life across the universe. His canonical death occurs in the limited series Death of the Silver Surfer, which depicts the conclusion of his existence. In this event, Norrin encounters a force exceeding the limits of the power Cosmic, resulting in his destruction. The storyline confirms that the Silver Surfer has fallen, and the mantle is transferred to Kelly Ko, who becomes Galactus's next herald. The series ends with the statement, "The Silver Surfer is dead. Long live the Silver Surfer," establishing Norrin's fall within the main continuity. His demise represents the formal transfer of the cosmic role he held, with his successor continuing the duties of the Silver Surfer. Logan, known as Wolverine, is a mutant with retractable claws, heightened senses, and a regenerative healing factor applied to an adamantium-reinforced skeleton. His canonical death occurs after his healing ability is neutralized, leaving him fully mortal for the first time in decades. The storyline Death of Wolverine chronicles this sequence from the onset to his demise. A virus originating in the microverse disables his healing factor, preventing recovery from injuries or illness. Consequently, Logan becomes vulnerable and aware that any serious wound could be fatal. He soon discovers that a bounty has been placed on him, prompting an investigation into the responsible party. His search leads to Dr. Abraham Cornelius, the scientist responsible for bonding adamantium to his skeleton through the Weapon X program. During a confrontation at Cornelius's facility in Paradise Valley, Logan disrupts a process involving molten adamantium intended for new subjects. The molten metal engulfs him entirely, solidifies around his body, and causes his death by suffocation. Logan's adamantium-encased body is subsequently treated as his tomb by allies. The following arc, Hunt for Wolverine, begins when the adamantium shell is discovered empty, initiating an investigation by the X-Men. The miniseries Return of Wolverine confirms his resurrection through the intervention of the mutant Persephone. Logan's revival restores him to active status within the main timeline, remaining central to temporal conflicts affecting mutant-kind's future. Jean Grey is a mutant with telepathic and telekinetic powers and has a long-standing connection to the cosmic entity known as the Phoenix Force. She is a core member of the X-Men, a group dedicated to fostering coexistence between mutants and humans, founded by Charles Xavier. Her first significant canonical death occurs during the storyline known as the Dark Phoenix Saga. In this storyline, she becomes the host of the Phoenix Force, which evolves into the Dark Phoenix, a dangerously destructive manifestation of its power. As the Dark Phoenix grows increasingly uncontrollable, Jean realizes the threat it poses to life across the galaxy. She ultimately travels to the moon, where she makes the conscious decision to end her life to prevent further destruction. Her body is left lifeless at the conclusion of the saga. During her absence, the X-Men continue to face various challenges. Jean is later brought back. Her resurrection restores her active role among the X-Men. She resumes participation in missions alongside the mutant team. The storyline explores her adjustment to life after her absence. Jean's abilities remain at their previous levels, including telepathy and telekinesis. The Phoenix Force no longer dominates her actions following this return. Jean Grey's deaths and subsequent resurrections illustrate the recurring interplay between her personal identity and the Phoenix Force. Her story demonstrates the lasting impact of her sacrifice and return on the mutant community. Stephen Rogers, known as Captain America, is a super soldier whose abilities originate from the super soldier serum administered through Project Rebirth during World War II. The process enhances him to peak human physical condition, providing exceptional strength, endurance, and combat skills. Equipped with a vibranium steel shield, he becomes a prominent participant in numerous historical and contemporary conflicts. His canonical death occurs during the storyline The Death of Captain America, following the implementation of the Superhuman Registration Act and his decision to surrender to authorities. While being escorted to a courthouse in New York City, Rogers is targeted in a coordinated assassination attempt. Crossbones, acting under the orders of the Red Skull, shoots at Rogers from a distance. Simultaneously, Sharon Carter, a SHIELD agent and Rogers' partner, is hypnotically influenced by Dr. Faustus and fires at him at close range. Rogers sustains multiple gunshot wounds to the torso and is later pronounced dead after being transported for medical care. His apparent death provokes widespread mourning among allies in the broader hero community. Following these events, Bucky Barnes, known as the Winter Soldier, assumes the mantle of Captain America and wields the shield in Rogers' honor. Tony Stark and other associates facilitate this transition according to Rogers' posthumous instructions to preserve his legacy. Rogers' eventual resurrection occurs in Captain America Reborn, revealing that his body and consciousness were displaced through space and time by the Red Skull's actions. During this process, his essence is restored, returning him to the present timeline. Upon revival, Rogers reunites with Sharon Carter and Bucky Barnes, confirming his continued existence. He temporarily allows Barnes to retain the Captain America role while adjusting to his restored condition. Ted Kord, the second individual to assume the Blue Beetle identity, is a skilled inventor and combatant who operates without superhuman powers. He depends on advanced technology, martial expertise, and his airborne craft known as the Bug. During the events leading into Infinite Crisis, he investigates irregularities in Kord Industries' finances. His search reveals extensive embezzlement through shell corporations and a concealed surveillance bug in his equipment. Tracing the signal leads him to a hidden checkmate facility in the Swiss Alps. Within the fortress, he learns his identity has been listed as deceased in the organization's files. There, he confronts Maxwell Lord, a telepath and the Black King of Checkmate. Lord offers Kord a role in Checkmate's plan to control or neutralize metahumans, which Kord refuses. Lord then kills him with a gunshot to the head. The act triggers the activation of Brother Eye, the OMAC project, and the chain of events culminating in Infinite Crisis. Kord's legacy continues through his allies and the passing of the Scarab to Jamie Reyes, who succeeds him as Blue Beetle. Afterward, Ted remains inactive for an extended period before returning during the Rebirth era. He reappears alive and serves as Jamie Reyes' mentor and advisor. He resumes leadership of Kord Industries and assists in analyzing the alien Scarab that empowers the Blue Beetle mantle. His restoration to life marks his re-establishment as an active figure in modern continuity. Jason Todd is the second person to serve as Robin, the partner and trainee of Batman in Gotham City. He replaces the original Robin after his predecessor steps away from the role. During the events of A Death in the Family, the Joker abducts Jason and subjects him to a violent assault using a crowbar. The Joker then traps him inside a warehouse wired with explosives and leaves him to die. Batman arrives moments too late, unable to prevent the explosion that kills Jason. The tragedy deeply affects Batman, leading him to suspend the Robin mantle temporarily. Jason's death stands as a pivotal moment within Batman's history, influencing the evolution of his allies and successors. Years later, Jason reappears alive in the events of Under the Hood. His resurrection results from disruptions in reality caused by Superboy Prime, whose actions generate temporal disturbances that restore Jason to life. Talia al Ghul discovers his body, submerges it in the Lazarus Pit, and facilitates his revival. Upon returning, Jason abandons the Robin persona and adopts the identity of Red Hood. He operates independently, confronting criminal networks and opposing Batman's strict moral code. His re-emergence transforms him into a complex anti-hero, permanently redefining his place within Gotham's vigilante hierarchy. Arthur Curry, known as Aquaman, is the half-human and half-Atlantean ruler of Atlantis, who commands marine life and possesses immense strength and aquatic adaptation. His apparent death occurs following the events of Infinite Crisis, when he disappears and is presumed dead. During this period, a new figure, Arthur Joseph Curry, assumes the mantle, reinforcing the belief that the original Aquaman has perished. Among Atlanteans, Arthur's disappearance is officially treated as death. During Blackest Night, Arthur's corpse is reanimated by a Black Lantern ring, placing him among the ranks of the undead. As the conflict escalates, he becomes one of 12 individuals resurrected by the cosmic white entity, the embodiment of life in the emotional spectrum. This resurrection occurs at the conclusion of Blackest Night, fully restoring him to life. In the subsequent Brightest Day storyline, Arthur resumes his role as Aquaman and faces renewed challenges in reclaiming his place among heroes and within Atlantis. Alfred Pennyworth serves as Bruce Wayne's trusted butler, guardian, and operational ally in Gotham City. His death occurs during the City of Bane's storyline, when Bane seizes control of the city and uses Alfred as a hostage. As the conflict escalates, Alfred is executed by Bane, kills him by breaking his neck. The act takes place while Alfred is held captive within Wayne Manor under enemy control. Before this event, Alfred had long coordinated the Batcave, provided medical and tactical assistance, and supported every member of the Bat family. His influence extended beyond logistics, offering moral guidance to Bruce and his allies throughout their crusade. During City of Bane, Bane and an alternate version of Thomas Wayne consolidate power in Gotham, forcing the Bat family into retreat. Alfred secretly activates a contingency signal to aid Bruce's counterattack, but his death occurs before the plan can succeed. His loss devastates the team, leaving them without their emotional and organizational anchor. Hal Jordan serves as the foremost human member of the Green Lantern Corps, an interstellar peacekeeping organization empowered by energy rings fueled by willpower. His downfall begins during Emerald Twilight, after the destruction of Coast City drives him to madness. Overcome by grief, Hal attacks the Green Lantern Corps, kills Sinestro and several Guardians, and drains the central power battery on Oa. He adopts the name Parallax and becomes a cosmic-level adversary. As Parallax, he remains active as an antagonist until the final night, when the Sun Eater extinguishes Earth's sun. Seeking redemption, Hal sacrifices himself by channeling his energy into the dying star, reigniting it and saving the planet. This act results in his apparent death, marking his canonical demise. Following his sacrifice, Hal's soul bonds with the Spectre, the divine spirit of vengeance, beginning his existence as a supernatural entity. Years later, Green Lantern Rebirth reveals that Parallax was a parasitic embodiment of fear that had possessed Hal rather than his own corruption. Freed from the Spectre's influence and the parasite's control, Hal is physically restored to life. He resumes his duties as Green Lantern, reclaiming his ring and position within the Corps. His arc, from fall, death, and redemption to resurrection, cements his role as one of DC's central figures of atonement and renewal. Kara Zor-El, the Kryptonian cousin of Superman, possesses immense strength, flight, and energy projection abilities derived from Earth's yellow sun. Her canonical death occurs during Crisis on Infinite Earths, when the Anti-Monitor launches a multiversal assault threatening all surviving worlds. In the conflict, Kara attacks the Anti-Monitor's machinery to prevent the annihilation of the remaining universes. She succeeds in destroying the device, but is mortally wounded during the battle. In her final moments, she dies in Superman's arms, ensuring the survival of multiple Earths. This sacrifice marks one of the central turning points of the event and confirms her death as permanent in post-crisis continuity. After the universe is reconstructed, continuity is rewritten so that Superman stands as the sole Kryptonian survivor, effectively erasing Kara's presence. Decades later, the events surrounding Infinite Crisis and subsequent restorations of continuity reintroduce her into the primary timeline. In this restored form, she reintegrates into modern continuity as the canonical Kara Zor-El. Her original death in Crisis on Infinite Earths remains a key historical event. Maxwell Lord is a metahuman and influential strategist who operates within political and superhero circles, often connected to the Justice League International and the organization Checkmate. His abilities allow him to impose mental control over others, making him a dangerous manipulator within the metahuman community. During the events leading to Infinite Crisis, Lord uses his powers to seize control of Superman's mind, forcing the hero to attack his allies. Wonder Woman intervenes, confronting him while restrained by her lasso of truth. Under its influence, Lord admits that the only way to free Superman is through his own death. Acting on that truth, Wonder Woman kills him, ending his immediate threat. The moment is broadcast globally through the Brother Eye satellite network, causing widespread controversy and political consequences for Wonder Woman. Lord's body is subsequently entombed beneath the Hall of Justice, marking his confirmed death in continuity. Years later, he is resurrected during Brightest Day, chosen by the White Lantern entity as one of 12 beings restored to life. After his return, he resumes his activities as a manipulator, using his mental powers to erase public memory of his existence and influence world events. Superman, also known as Clark Kent and Kal-El, is the Kryptonian protector of Earth who draws his extraordinary powers from its yellow sun. His canonical death occurs in the Death of Superman, when he confronts the monstrous being known as Doomsday. The battle devastates Metropolis, culminating in both combatants striking fatal blows that leave them lifeless in the streets. His body is then recovered, and global mourning follows in the storyline Funeral for a Friend. The world grieves the loss of its greatest hero as the city of Metropolis memorializes his sacrifice. Subsequently, Reign of the Supermen introduces 4 new figures claiming Superman's legacy: the last son of Krypton, Superboy, Steel, and Cyborg Superman. These successors embody different aspects of his persona and fill the void left by his death. Over the course of the story, it is revealed that the true Superman had entered a healing stasis within the Fortress of Solitude. Eventually, he fully recovers, reclaiming his powers and title as Earth's protector. Damian Wayne, the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, is trained from birth by the League of Assassins and later becomes the latest bearer of the Robin mantle. As Robin, he combines advanced combat ability, tactical intellect, and the discipline of both of his parents' legacies. His canonical death takes place in Batman Incorporated when the organization Leviathan launches an assault on Wayne Tower. During the battle, Damian dons an exosuit to defend the building alongside Batman's allies. He is confronted by the Heretic, an adult clone created from his own DNA. In the ensuing fight, the Heretic impales Damian through the chest with a sword, killing him instantly. Batman arrives moments later and holds his son's lifeless body, marking one of the darkest moments in his history. Following the tragedy, Damian is buried, though his grandfather Ra's al Ghul later steals the body to further his own plans for resurrection. Batman ultimately pursues Ra's and journeys to Apokolips. There, he retrieves Damian's remains and uses the Chaos Shard, a powerful Apocalyptian energy source, to restore him to life. Upon revival, Damian resumes his role as Robin and rejoins his father in protecting Gotham. Diana of Themyscira, the Amazon princess known as Wonder Woman, serves as a warrior and emissary of peace, who wields divine power and unmatched combat skill. Her canonical death occurs during the events of Wonder Woman Volume 2, number 124, when the demon lord Neron captures her along with several other heroes. Within his infernal realm, Neron unleashes a final attack that kills Diana, marking her apparent end. The following developments in Wonder Woman Volume 2, number 127, describe her death being confirmed after a failed attempt to restore her consciousness. In response, her mother, Queen Hippolyta, prays to the goddess Hera for intervention. Hera answers the plea, resurrecting Diana and transforming her into the goddess of truth on Olympus. While residing among the gods, Diana continues to watch over Earth before ultimately relinquishing her divine station. Choosing mortality once more, she returns to her role as Wonder Woman and resumes her mission in the mortal world. John Jones, known as the Martian Manhunter, is a powerful telepathic alien hero from Mars and a founding member of the Justice League. He possesses abilities such as shape-shifting, invisibility, flight, and immense psychic strength, making him one of DC's most formidable heroes. His canonical death takes place in Final Crisis when the villain Libra, leading the secret society of supervillains, orchestrates his murder. During the ambush, John is impaled with a spear-like weapon and dies after sending a telepathic farewell to his Justice League teammates. His death shocks the superhero superhero community, as he had long served as both a warrior and a moral center for the League. In Final Crisis, Requiem #1, DC Comics devoted a full issue to his memorial, showing heroes from across the world mourning his loss and celebrating his heroism. John's resurrection occurs later in Blackest Night, where he is reanimated as a Black Lantern, an undead version of himself controlled by a dark power. However, by Blackest Night #8, John is fully restored to true life. He resumes his place among Earth's heroes in the following Brightest Day, once again fighting for justice. Superboy, Canon, is a human Kryptonian hybrid clone created from Superman's DNA, possessing enhanced strength, speed, and tactile telekinesis. His canonical death occurs during Infinite Crisis when he faces Superboy Prime, a version of himself from another universe with near-limitless power. In Infinite Crisis #6-7, their battle atop Alexander Luthor Jr.'s tower results in a catastrophic explosion and the collapse of part of the multiverse structure. Superboy is mortally wounded in the confrontation and dies. Superboy is resurrected during Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds, when the Legion of Superheroes from multiple timelines employs a Kryptonian healing chrysalis combined with a strand of DNA from Lex Luthor to restore him. Fully revived, he rejoins the battle against Superboy Prime, continuing his heroic duties. Superboy's sacrifice and subsequent return reinforce his lasting significance as a legacy hero alongside Superman. Oliver Queen, known as Green Arrow, is a vigilante hero from Star City who relies on expert archery, martial skills, and specialized trick arrows. His canonical death occurs when a plane loaded with explosives threatens Metropolis. To prevent mass casualties, Oliver remains aboard the aircraft, ignites the bomb, and allows the plane to crash. His self-sacrifice successfully saves the city, but results in his apparent death. Subsequent issues acknowledge his absence and honor his heroism through memorials and the reactions of allies. Oliver is later resurrected in the Quiver storyline, where his body is restored with assistance linked to Hal Jordan. Following his revival, he resumes his role as the Emerald Archer, reclaiming his duties as Star City's protector. Oliver's story reinforces his enduring status as a key hero in the DC universe. Bruce Wayne, the vigilante known as Batman, relies on intellect, detective skills, and peak physical training to protect Gotham City. His canonical apparent death occurs in Final Crisis when he fires a Radion bullet at Darkseid and is struck by Darkseid's Omega Sanction. Bruce is presumed dead after his body is recovered by Superman, and both the Justice League and the wider world treat him as deceased. Memorials and tributes acknowledge his sacrifice, and Gotham adapts to the absence of its primary protector. Bruce's return is detailed in the 6-issue miniseries Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne, in which it is revealed that the Omega Sanction displaced him through time. He survives across multiple historical eras, gradually regaining his memories, skills, and identity. By the conclusion of the series, Bruce re-emerges in modern Gotham City and reclaims his role as Batman. Barry Allen, the Flash of Central City, is a speedster who channels the Speed Force to combat crime and protect the multiverse. His canonical death occurs during Crisis on Infinite Earths, when he attempts to stop the Anti-Monitor's antimatter cannon. Using his super speed, Barry redirects the cannon's blast, but cannot survive the immense energy, disappearing in a lightning storm and leaving only his costume behind. He is presumed dead, and his loss is mourned across the hero community and the world. Barry's return begins in Final Crisis #2, where he reappears to fellow speedsters, including Wally West and Jay Garrick after leaving the Speed Force. His full resurrection is detailed in The Flash Rebirth, which restores his life, reconnects him to the Speed Force, and re-establishes him as the Flash in the main continuity. Following these events, Barry resumes his role as Central City's protector and active hero in the DC universe.